When Amazon Prime Video launched in Australia in December, it had a woeful catalog. There was nary a show or movie you could watch on the service that you couldn't get elsewhere, so unless you were a fan of the old school, in more ways than one, Top Gear Trio's new adventure, The Grand Tour, there was little point in signing up. After all, you've already watched Transparent on Stan. 3 months on, there are finally a few great reasons to fork out that $4 a month as Amazon rolls out more original programming to binge. These are the Amazon original shows you should be watching on Prime. Fleabag. Easily the best of Amazon's offerings, this British comedy benefits from the strong voice of its creator and star, Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Fleabag alone is enough reason to sign up for the streaming service, and at 6 half-hour episodes, you can polish it off in one sitting. Based on Waller-Bridge's one-woman show at Edinburgh, Fleabag's life is an unmitigated disaster. Her business is on the brink of collapse, her boyfriend just left her, and her family relationships are less than cordial. Bracingly honest and darkly hilarious, Fleabag constantly breaks the fourth wall to let us know the truth of every sticky situation she inevitably screws up. A must-see. Man in the High Castle. Imagine if the Allies had lost the Second World War. Imagine if the swastika had replaced the stars on the American flag and the Nazis and Imperial Japan took over the free world. This is the chilling dystopia Philip K. Dick imagined in his book, loosely adapted for the screen in a tense and engrossing drama starring Rufus Sewell, DJ Qualls and Alexa Davalos. Very watchable, The Man in the High Castle is set in 1962 and is largely concerned with the tussle for power between the Nazis, the Japanese and the Resistance. The story is set off by a newsreel showing an alternate history, our history, of the Axis losing World War II. The show cleverly sets up this strange world, seemingly at odds with what we know to be true, but there is still much eerily familiar about it. Z, the beginning of everything. The mystique of Zelda Fitzgerald, wife of F. Scott, has lasted through the ages, ever since her husband called her America's first flapper. Her legendary intensity and erratic behavior has formed the foundation of her legacy. Christina Ricci is effervescent as the young Zelda, whose story begins during World War I as the bored, rebellious daughter of a Southern judge, the always wonderful David Strathairn. Disdainful of the local boys on offer, she finds them tiresome. Zelda meets a young soldier stationed just outside of town called Francis Scott, Australian actor David Hoffman. The lavish production is lifted by Ricci's star power and screen presence, as well as all the trappings of the glamorous Art Deco era. Sneaky Pete. Created by Bryan Cranston, yes, that Bryan Cranston, and David Shore, House, Sneaky Pete has it all. It's a crime caper and a dramedy. It's also got a top-notch cast with Giovanni Ribisi, completely owning the role, and Mario Martindale. Well written and confident, Sneaky Pete is well worth your time. Marius is a conman just out of jail. While he was in prison, his cellmate, a rather loquacious fellow called Pete, talked endlessly about his childhood. Marius gets a brain flash, the kind that seems foolishly ingenious at the time and is ripe for great storytelling. He decides to impersonate Pete and con the man's grandparents. Goliath. Set in California, Billy Bob Thornton plays Billy McBride, a former corporate high-flying lawyer living in a Santa Monica motel. He's not above stealing the sports section out of his neighbor's newspaper and seems to spend much of his time at the bar next door. Even though he founded one of the biggest law firms, he's reduced to repping petty crimes after being driven to alcohol, and there's a pretty tragic backstory, of course. There's also a central mystery that draws in his past professional and personal relationships and drives the momentum of the series' 8 episodes. Co-created by David E. Kelley, The Practice, Chicago Hope and Big Little Lies, Thornton's Golden Globe-winning performance is what elevates Goliath to more than just another legal drama.